Hello and welcome to Shelley's Sacred Space and our Tarot Tidbits. Today we are talking the Ace of Wands and the Two of Wands. To recap, we look at 4 different decks and compare the similarities and differences to get a better understanding of our cards. Those decks are the Coleman Smith Rider-Waite Radiant version, the Fifth Spirit Tarot, the Somnia Tarot, and the Green Witch Tarot. So let's get started with the ace. The Ace of Wands represents your inner fire, the creativity that is starting to stir, that's going to bring about major creativity, action, passion. It represents our power, our vitality. It can indicate a delay of that happening depending on the cards that are surrounding it, or if you read reversals. It is the beginning of that action, the setting of the goals. If you're looking at a business and the Ace of Wands comes up, that's your business plan. So depending on what kind of question you're asking will depend on what kind of creativity is being stirred and started. So some of the similarities that we have, of course, is the wand, whether it's a stick of fire, a lighter, or a piece of wood. That is a singular wand. The 3 of the cards here have a hand, which indicates that even though this is an inner stirring, it is being presented from a higher source. So source energy, God, goddesses, whatever you prefer, universe. It's being embedded, it's being seated in there internally by a higher power. Now, some of the differences, of course, is this one has a lighter. This one is coming from the ground, and this one has no hand. So we're going to look at those a little bit. One of the other similarities is all of the cards have clouds. So we're looking at that beginning state where we can't see things clearly, but we know that there's something going on. We might be seeking out this idea or this action that we want to take, trying to formulate it, get it into motion. The clouds just show you that it's not all there yet, but it's on the stuff, but it's starting. So you can be assured that it's about to happen. Some of the differences that we can point out. This one has no hand. This one is coming from the ground, not in the air. This is a lighter. And this one has the background, which has your river and the castle and the hills. So all of those indicate that this is the beginning. It is a start of a formation for action. It can be related to the home and it is connected to your emotions. You need that solid foundation of home, the calm emotions, to be able to overcome the challenges of this new creation. So it's very cool that that is all in there. Now for me, this one leans more towards it is you igniting this passion. So as much as there's the hand, it doesn't look like the Rider-Waite where it's coming from the higher source. It more looks like you're the one who has to light the lighter. You're the one who's going to move it forward. This is an internal flame that you are fanning. This one also really does relate to the internal because it's coming up from the ground. It almost feels like it's a natural creation that's growing from within nature, and you are the one bringing it to the forefront. This has been embedded in you forever. And then this one, it is just a wand. It's a piece of wood. There's the leaves. We have some berries and some cherries, and we have a bird up in the top corner, all the way up here. And then, of course, we have all the clouds around. Now, the way this one is presented always has reminded me of a dragonfly. The dragonfly can represent change, it can represent power, joy. The berries represent joy, happiness, productivity. Think about how they grow, and then there's when you get really good ones, they're super sweet. And so that's what they represent in there. And then what's interesting is your sky is that orangey purple. So the purple almost brings in the crown chakra, which is your higher communication, which is also what the bird is indicating, that there's communication of this coming through to create the change that you need to be able to move forward with this action. So that is our Ace of Wands. A lot about action, about the beginnings, the stirrings, and getting it started. Now let's look at the Two of Wands. So the Two of Wands represents having that solid foundation, but needing to move beyond that. In the traditional Coleman Smith Rider Waite, we have a person holding the world in one hand, a wand in the other, and the second wand is secured to the stone foundation. And you have the flowers in the bottom on a flag indicating prosperity. What is interesting is they are looking out. They are not looking at us. They are looking out at the future and what to do next. And it's about a choice because we always have the choice. We can stay where we are and work with our inner stirrings that have started with the Ace of Wands and just stay where we are and stay small, or we can get out of our comfort zone and move forward. So this is the contemplation of what actions am I going to take? Where are they going to lead me? Let's look at this before we just jump. Okay. What you will find interesting with this card, actually all the cards, the similarity that we have is that strong foundation. So in this one, it's the home. This one is the cave with the stones. This one is the top of the castle walls, we're assuming, with the solid concrete foundation. And this one is from inside of a window. So you literally are looking, you're inside safe and sound, looking out into the vast unknown. Okay, so we've got unknown, where to go, what next steps we're going to do. We do have an indication, though, that we are going to be moving forward because in this one, we have he's holding the world. Basically, to me, this one represents the world is your oyster. Do with it as you wish. With having the wand attached, that gives you that solid foundation, that security that you don't have to do it alone, but you are going to have to stretch a little. In this one, we also have the second wand is up in the top corner here on the wall, again, like this one. So same thing, you have that consistency and that solid foundation of it being there, but we also look like we're moving forward and out into what we don't know. This one is a little bit different because you have two little frogs down here who are taking their wands and traveling, and you have someone at home saying, "See you soon, be safe." So it really does indicate leaving what you know to move forward, to explore, with the understanding that what you've always known is still there. And then this one is interesting because we've got the candle with the very long wick, and the wick is knotted, and then we have the match and the match box. Now that tells me that, first off, before we can light the candle and get any passion going, we have to unknot it. So you have to do the basics. You have to do the contemplation. Like in this card, you need to think about what your next move's in. You're not just going to jump in. It is a time to contemplate. A or B, C or D. If I do A, where does that lead? And you won't know the answers, but if you have an understanding of where it possibly could go, that helps you. So this card really does say, yes, you have this passion, take a moment. What's interesting with this card is if you were to light with the match, the wick that's down here, it would melt the candle before it ever got to the top to be able to go down. So it would change everything. It would change the foundation of the candle. It would change the outcome of the burn. It would change the whole process. So take that time, untie the knot, cut the wick down. Be sure of your move, not necessarily be sure of the outcome of your next action, but be sure of moving forward with an action. Thank you so much for joining me for the Ace and 2 of Wands. Our next cards will be 3 and 4 of Wands. Until the next time, bye for now.